Quiet! Quiet your mouth, foolish man!
In the quiet village of Obodo Uma, where everyone believed they knew each other's secrets, lived a couple that people admired, at least from the outside. The husband, Emeka, was a gentleman, soft-spoken, hard-working, the kind who greeted even children with respect. His wife, Nkem, was the opposite in ways no one could see. In public, she was sweetness itself, always smiling, always speaking softly, always calling her husband my king in front of others. But behind closed doors, the truth was different. Every night, when the lantern light dimmed and the compound fell silent, Nkem changed. It started small, sharp words, insults that cut deeper than knives. "You are useless," she would whisper, her voice cold. "A man that cannot even control his own house." Emeka would stay quiet. He believed peace was better than pride. But silence only made her worse. Soon whispers turned into slaps, slaps turned into beatings. She would strike him with anything she could grab, a wooden spoon, a belt, sometimes even a pestle. Emeka never fought back, not once. He would curl into himself, protecting his head, his dignity bleeding more than his body. And then morning would come. Like a performer stepping onto a stage, Nkem would transform. One day, she walked into the village square crying loudly, her wrapper torn slightly, her eyes red. "Help me!" she screamed. "My husband is killing me!" Villagers rushed to her. Women gathered around her, hissing in anger. "What kind of man beats his wife?" one shouted. Emeka was dragged from his home, confused, still weak from the night before. Before he could speak, a slap landed on his face from one of the elders. "Is this how you treat a woman?" they demanded. Emeka opened his mouth, then closed it. Who would believe him? From that day, it became a pattern. At night he suffered, by day he was judged. Nkem mastered the art of deception. She would pinch her own skin to create bruises. Sometimes she would hit herself lightly against the wall, just enough to leave marks. Then she would cry before others, shaking like a victim. And the village believed her every single time. Until one night, something changed. A young boy named Chidi, who often ran errands around the compound, forgot his sling bag at Emeka's house. He returned quietly after dark to retrieve it. As he approached, he heard something strange. A man's voice crying. Chidi froze. Then he heard it clearly, the sound of blows and a woman's angry voice. "Cry louder!" she hissed. "Tomorrow they must believe me again." Chidi's eyes widened. He slowly moved closer and peeked through a crack in the mud wall. What he saw made his heart race. Nkem stood over Emeka, beating him mercilessly. The next morning, when Nkem appeared again in the village square, wailing as usual, something was different. Before anyone could react, Chidi stepped forward. "No," he shouted. The crowd went silent. "She is lying," he said, his voice shaking but firm. "I saw everything last night." "She is the one beating him." Gasps filled the air. Nkem's face changed for the first time, not into tears, but into fear. The elders looked at Emeka. For the first time, they truly looked at him. The way he flinched at sudden movements, the way he avoided eye contact, the faint scars he could no longer hide. The truth began to settle like heavy rain. Nkem tried to speak, to cry again, but this time her voice had lost its power. The same people who once defended her now stepped back. Deception had an expiration date, and hers had just ended. That day the village learned something they would never forget. Not every cry is truth. Not every silence is guilt. And sometimes the strongest people are the ones who suffer quietly, waiting for the truth to finally speak for them.